And we're live.
Dude, that would. Oh, go ahead, Woody.
I saw you on the Joe Rogan podcast, and you told him you wished you hadn't played football. I think I have that pretty on target.
Yeah, I said that.
You still feel like that? I projected so much onto that. I could go and go. I'll do it for a moment. I have this idea that you've been very successful, right? Your life so far, 10 out of 10. And there's almost a kind of like survivor's bias where like, man, because
what's the metric though? You said my life so far has been 10 out of 10. What's the metric?
Oh, that is a really good question. Right? And I don't have the insight into what your life is really like to say that. It's just from the outside, though.
I could be doing cocaine every night and killing babies. What do you don't know?
Touche, right? But
sounds like a hell of a time.
Yeah, actually,
still 10 out of 10,
11 out of 10. But I guess what I'm saying is, if I went to the movie theater line and found 10 people and said, "Would you trade your life experience with Arian's?" I think all 10 would say yes. All 10 would say, you know what? He's had a better one than me so far. We're playing this game of life, and this guy's freaking killing it. Cool. And you're like, man, I think I could do even better. And I'm like, is this a kind of survivor's bias where, like, you do so well, you think you could have achieved that same level of success at anything you tried?
Well, I think it depends on how you gauge success.
Okay.
And I think that's what hit me when I got quote unquote success was you kind of realize that it's a relative term, that success it doesn't necessarily mean monetary value. And so what I meant by that was I wish I wouldn't have done it. It was I know that I have so much more to give of myself, right? I feel like I kind of robbed myself of a lot of my prime years of study, of experience, exploring things that would have made me a better human rather than things that would have produced more value for an organization. And so I look at it in terms of that rather than how much money I made, because don't get me wrong, like I understand we live in a society where you got to make money in order to survive, but I don't look at success like that anymore. I did when I was young. I was like, yo, I had goal. I wanted to make $100 million. I wanted to be a billionaire eventually. Like those are the kinds of things I aspired to do. But once I got a certain point financially, I realized to me there's nowhere near fulfilling. None of that shit fulfills me. It just fills voids that is just a never-ending abyss that you'll never be able to fill. And so for me, knowing who I am and knowing what my interests are and knowing what I'm talented at and knowing what I can do once I focus and harness that energy in that direction, there's no doubt in my mind I could have done something way more impactful towards like humanity. And not to say that I can't anymore. It's just that it's a longer road in order to give yourself the 10,000 hours in order to like master a craft to where you're respected in that field.
I assign a lot more randomness and luck to success.
Oh, I mean, 1,000%.
So, like, I'm like, man, let's say Arian Foster, right? But in 11th grade, the poor guy loses his leg below the knee, right?
God damn.
That guy's still smart. He's still introspective. He's still interesting, but he's not a running back. Arian Foster, the CPA, maybe isn't nearly as, like, I don't know, worldly and experienced. He hasn't. Football may have added more to you as in like an RPG character than you gave it credit for. You see it as taking away from the time you could have been playing guitar. I see it as taking you and showing you the planet.
Well, not only that, right? Like it's given you the opportunity that now you can spend 10,000. You have as many 10,000 hours as you want, right? If you want to learn guitar or French guitar, you've got all the time to do it.
I'm going to trust that's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
French guitar.
Yeah, it's just a really...
It's the same as American guitar. It's just a little more douchey.
It's American guitar, but with tongue.
Now, you're not wrong, right? Where it's like, I'm not appreciative of the things that my sacrifices have allotted me. It's just that I know the sacrifices that I actually gave. And so it was time, and it was time doing things I didn't want to do in a way that wasn't impactful in my eyes. Right. Because you said it made me more worldly. Did you mean it made me more like well-traveled? Like it gave me the opportunity to be more traveled?
Travel and meeting a lot of people were the things in my head
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and you're not wrong about that. But and this is it's hyperbolic because I mean we can't go back in time, but I just know me. I know me, and I know like I'm a people person. Um, I know what I could have accomplished in other fields, and I would have been successful in my eyes a lot quicker and with a lot more substance than playing football.
I feel what you're saying.
I'm
but, like,
surprised.
it
I'm
is-
surprised you say that. That's a lot. Like that's an interesting take. But like, so if you imagine there's like the many worlds theory, right? There's
Yeah.
like infinite dimensions, and there's infinite versions of you that did infinite, had infinite careers.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a reality where
you
you're
spent
a horrible
years.
player.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah, that one exists, and there's one where you're a CPA, and there's one where you're a fucking mass shooter or something crazy, right? Like, but
Damn.
the one where, like, unfortunately,
But then there's a bunch where
Or-
it also prevents mass shootings because it's infinite, right?
Balance.
there's one where you're a white supremacist, and it's very awkward for everyone.
Really weird.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
I wish that
Yeah.
Arian could have the experience. Kyle, were you finished? Did you have more? I'm sorry.
No, not at all. But like the one where like you made millions of dollars and you made all those contacts, right? The travel is one thing, but who cares about fucking touching 40 different states, right? Anybody with a bus pass can do that. It's about who you met when you did all that traveling. You were part of a fraternity of guys who are all multimillionaires now. So like if you have some big idea now, if you're like, oh, I got the idea, I just need some investors.
That's
I
a great.
wonder if I know a few dozen multimillionaires. You do, right? You could be like, guys, like put 500 grand in this. We all put 500 grand in this. We all got 10 million in 10 years. Let's just do this thing. Like I don't know. It's this version. I definitely believe you that there are alternate universe versions of you that are even more ridiculously successful. But this is in the top 5%.
Yeah, you're in
Yeah.
a real good one. Yeah.
I'm in a good universe, man. I don't for sure. Like I'm not not appreciative, right? I think that it's just the way that I view success now. It's different. It's because I grew up in the projects. I grew up like not having food at night, like that type of shit. And like when you come from that, I had one goal. Like nobody around me had money. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get money. Right. That was my goal. And then you get money and you're like, okay, was that it? Was that the goal? Is that it? And I realized no, that's not the goal. Like the goal is to enhance the environment that you have been brought into, right? On a wide scale, as much as you can. And like that's the goal to me. And so I think that I wasted a lot of time not doing that. And I think the bigger lesson that I learned, man, is like I've met a lot of my heroes. And I don't advise people to meet their heroes because people are just full of shit, man. Like just to be 100% honest, like people are just full of shit, man. They stuck on themselves. They care. They read the press and they believe that shit, and they're just not centered people. And I met like one of my heroes that I had a short conversation with. I was impressed with who he was. But at the end of the day, you realize that's the one thing you realize, like you're just a human.
Yeah.
Like, you're not a superhero, and that's an easy thing to say. But like when you have people who are heralded in your eyes, you hold them to a certain amount of reverence, and then you forget about the homeless man on the street who nobody cared about. That he might have been a great human being, but just nobody cared about him. And then you realize on a deeper level that not everybody has that opportunity, right? I had an opportunity, like you said, Woody. Success has a lot of luck. And people that don't say that shit are fucking assholes to me. And they're full of shit, man. Because like, in order for me to do what I did, like certain things had to fall in place. And if they didn't fall in place, there's no telling what would have happened. I'm pretty sure I would have found a way to survive and feed my family. But for this reality to be true, certain things had to fall in place, and it was fucking lucky. And it was just pure luck. Like it nothing else. And a lot of people don't have those breaks fall for them. My brother was a perfect example. Just as good as an athlete as I was, right? Had a coach in high school who turned colleges away, just had a bad break in college. When he finally got to college, like shit just kept going bad for him. He just didn't catch a break. Worked his ass off. I learned how to run long distance from my brother. He worked way harder than me, right? He probably can outrun me right now.
Is he older or younger?
He's older. He could probably outrun me when I was in the league. He just worked harder than me. But he just didn't catch a break here, didn't catch a break there, didn't catch a break there. And it's like that kind of shit that's what really woke me up, was when you see the farce, like that American dream is like all you got to do is work hard. Fuck no. Hell no. You have to have some shit happen along the way that you had no control over. And that is the truth.
There's a bunch of plumbers that work hard as shit. And they're not rich. They work
100%.
Unbelievably hard.
Yeah.
100%, man.
There's that whole cliche, right? Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So you get credit for some of this, right?
Sure.
But that opportunity part.
Yeah, if I wasn't prepared, it would have passed me by.
Not everyone gets the same opportunities, you know, and that's where the luck part is. I'm cautious about comparing my success to yours. It's not the same, but I lived a life before
What's your metric though? What's your metric though? You keep saying that. What is your metric?
I guess I was just going on impact. I don't know, but here's where I'm headed with this.
Gotcha.
Before YouTube, I had a whole career, like a good amount of life going on before I had any kind of, YouTube success. And I had a better than average career in IT, but still ordinary, and I had a wife, 2 kids, great. And then the YouTube came along, and that was an extraordinary thing for me. That went super well. And then the Woodycraft thing. But because of the first section of that life there, the first third, it's made me realize that, like, oh yeah, I'm not Midas on this thing. Not everything is gold. I'm really happy that a couple of them were, but it keeps it in check. That's all.
I also
come on, you grinded harder than anybody.
You said the first third of life. I don't know about that. You started at 38. You're pretty ambitious here, Woody.
First third of my career, I should have said.
Yeah, Woody 108. Woody, Kyle and I are long dead.
No, I see. Like I'll kiss Woody's ass for a minute. Like I feel like you grinded that thing harder than anybody. There was that opportunity there. It was almost like there was a bit of a gold rush going on YouTube, like just like the old San Francisco gold rush. It's like there's gold in them hills, and a bunch of guys got out there with a pick and a shovel, and they worked 3 days a week, and they had enough gold to head over to the saloon and get a woman and play some cards, and then they were broke on Monday. And they're like, well, I can work 3 days this week and I'll have enough to do it all over again. And you were like, I got to get the best picks and the best shovels, and there's not going to be time to go back to town. So I'm going to have to build a cabin out here next to the creek where I get my gold. I'm just going to sleep right here next to where I pan for the gold. And I'm going to need to hire a guy to carry my gold to town because I don't have time to be going and weighing my own gold. I got to be digging gold. You know what? Maybe I could hire a couple guys to help me dig this gold. Yeah, I'll do that. Like, you grinded it harder than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot. Yeah, I was one of the better.
The man
grinders.
had when I'm making that little comparison of like sleeping next to the creek where the gold comes from, Woody put a bunk bed above the desk he worked from. And instead of going back to bed with his wife when he was done with his work, he climbed into this little bunk bed above his workspace. It was like where he's sitting now, like bunk bed up there.
Right there.
And he'd climb into that motherfucker and get enough sleep so that his brain would work again, and then climb back down, take a piss, and get back to fucking work. Like
Woody had the great benefit,
harder than anybody.
Like not even benefit, just life experience of like when the whole gold rush was happening on like let's say 2010 YouTube. I was 19 in 2010, and most of the people who were doing it were my age and like young guys. Woody's coming from a professional world where he's like, oh, well, this is what I'm doing now. 2 videos a day. What happens if you don't make 2 videos a day, Woody? What are you talking about? That's what I do every day. You make 2 videos a day, and then you prepare for the next day's videos, and then you go to bed, and then you wake up, and then you make the video. That's just what you do. And it was like, I think you uploaded 2 videos a day for like 2 years on end or something outrageous, like where you never guessed.
Yeah, I
Meanwhile, I
uploaded
was
at
like,
least
hey,
one a
same
day.
gameplay again. Sorry, guys. The fat woman was in front of me at Chipotle today, so I got a store and like just
I liked your videos.
yeah, people liked them. They just the gameplay was awful. It was just fucking shitty ass gameplay.
Kyle, you might be muted. Yeah, you're muted.
You are muted.
I was saying I give Woody a lot of credit for his success because, you know, like you didn't have the best, you weren't the best at necessarily anything. You were the
No.
no, don't get me wrong here. Like I don't want this to come off the wrong way. There were guys who were just like pants on fire, retardedly good at like playing the game. Like yeah, you know, like we know those guys, and like we all aspired to be like them. But it's like, oh my god, this guy he's just the best at it. But he's not the best at YouTube. He's not at the best at monetizing this thing, you know, because personality comes into play, work ethic comes into play, a little bit of technological grasping comes into play, editing comes into play. There's a lot of facets to this game, just like any other game. And you like excelled at grinding at all of them, right? Like you were good enough at all of them that the aggregate score was just way the fuck up there.
But I think that's kind of plays to my point, right? I think a lot of people when they hear me say, "Yo, there's a lot of luck involved," that somehow disqualifies or erases the work that you put in. Like it absolutely doesn't. That's not what I'm saying. Like I'll never let. I remember I sat across a coach one time who told me, "Yo, I don't feel like you're working hard." And I told that motherfucker who had the ability to fire me to say, yo, you can call me whatever you want, but the one thing you can't say is I don't work hard. I was like, I'm up at 5 a.m, you ain't around. Like I work my ass from nothing, and you ain't gonna be able to sit there and tell that to my face. And like he respected that, right? So it's not, I don't. When I say there's a lot of luck involved, I'm not necessarily saying, yo, you didn't work, bro. It was handed to you. Nah, but there were certain things along the way, like if there wasn't a 2010 Gold Rush, right? If YouTube didn't get created, where's Woody? If you didn't have a certain IT background and knowledge, right? And I don't know how you got to there, but I'm pretty sure there were some things along the way where you had access to certain things that not everybody did along the way, but you took advantage of them, right? But there were certain things that just happened to fall in place, and then bam, Woody popping, right? That's my point. Where and a lot of people, don't get me wrong, a lot of people don't work hard. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people don't work hard at all, but a lot of people do work hard and they just can't get the breaks, and that's just my whole point. Bringing it all back around.
For sure. Well, I mean, like, yeah, then like Woody, what you said, where it's like what is it? Opportunity meets or preparedness meets opportunity. Like that really is what it is. Like, Arian, you happen to have an opportunity, which, like you said, maybe even most people don't get stuff like that. But because you were ready for it, you were able to capitalize. Like that's really all you can do is like try and anticipate an opportunity and try to be prepared for it, whatever that, you know.
Which is luck too, right? Because if I would be lying if I said, yo, I was just born disciplined. I just wasn't. Like I did. When I was growing up, my room was dirty as shit. I was shitty in school. I didn't have a lot of motivation to be prepared. But I had a father that was like, yo, if you want to do this, this is what you have to do. You got to do it. I was running hills at 12 years old, right? Like stupid shit. Like who does that? I rode my bike across town to this hill that he showed me. I used to ride my bike every day to go do that in high school. When cats was done with practice, I would be taking laps. I would be running. And one of my mans to this day, one of my best friends from high school, he told me not too long, like a year ago, he was like, yo, I remember we used to make fun of you, like as a group, because after practice you would be running and like we would be going to hang out. So it's like I got that discipline instilled in me, and like it was just blind faith because I didn't know my pops was broke when we growing up. So I'm listening to him like he got the answers just because of the reference I had for him being my father. But it was guidance, right? I was lucky. A lot of the cats I grew up with didn't have fathers around like that to show them the ropes, or maybe they was working all day and all night and they couldn't give them that guidance, or they didn't have that insight, or whatever the case may be. That kind of shit, just luck. I just lucked up and had a pops who was like, yo, this is the way.
Anyone watching you run hills, or you just go over and do it solo?
Nah, dolo, man, by myself. I had a vision though, like it was because I'm young as fuck watching hills. So like, if I had a player in my mind, I would think of that player like, yo, he's probably running hills right now, or
was this a peer or like a legend?
Somebody who's already made it. Somebody's already made it. I remember vividly. I used to trick myself and be like, yo, there's $1 million at the top of this hill. There's $1 million at the top of this hill. Cause like I'll be dead ass tired. I'm like, go get the money. And I used to do that shit like in school. in college when we used to do this stupid shit called check-in. So like if you were young, you had to walk all the way across campus just to sign a piece of paper to say that you was up and then go back, even if you didn't have class. It was just stupid shit.
What?
Yeah, it's dumb as hell, dog. They're just all about controlling college. But I used to do that, and the motivation for me to get up was like, yo, go get your $1 million. It was that I used to just over and over again, go get your $1 million. And that was instilled in me because my father was like, yo, there's money at the end of this. Go get this. Like, and that's just luck.
Mm-hmm.
I still had to do it though.
Yeah. It's funny. You're like, I worked so hard. I was so disciplined. Luck, really. And I'm like, I'm hearing a lot outside of luck. Now I know you acknowledge that.
It's not mutually exclusive, though.
I know,
it's not
I
mutually
know.
exclusive.
Yeah, luck happened, and because he was working so hard, he was able to capitalize it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any days that
you had been like fucking off, and that luck happened?
Yeah.
It would have just passed you by.
Mm-hmm.
Arian, do you know
There's a lot of opportunities I missed because I was fucking off. I'm not a Nazi about working out. Like a lot of things, like my career could have been a lot smoother if I was a little bit more disciplined.